Hello, welcome back. I do have to apologize because I am at least probably 2 weeks late in doing this tarot astrology profile for the sign of Libra. We entered Libra during the week of September 21st, 22nd. We're going all the way until October 19th, 20th. And then from there, we're going to go into the sign of Scorpio. So about a year ago, during the sign of Scorpio, I started this tarot astrology series where I just do a profile of all the signs in relation to their planetary influence, their ruling house, and also the major arcana card or cards that are associated with each astrological sign. So I started in Scorpio, and now I am wrapping this series up in the sign of Libra, albeit about 2 weeks late. But hey, better late, better late than never. And I want to finish this series off and just go through the various personalities, characteristics, and influences of the signs, or of the planet and house and major arcana card associated with Libra. So Libra, let's start with the sign. Libra is, when we think of Libra, we always get the scales. We're always tending to see balance and harmony showing up in the tarot in various ways. Also, it is associated with either 8 or 11, but primarily 11 in the major arcana, with the card of justice. And so I have here 4 cards from different decks showing the different energies of how justice is portrayed. So I'm going to briefly discuss that, but let's go back to Libra. So Libra, this is from the Heavenly Bodies Tarot Astrology deck, which is my deck that I always work with when I'm doing these profiles. So we have the keywords here of, I don't know if you can see very clearly, consideration, fairness, and harmony. Okay, so Libra is interesting. Libra is ruled by the planet Venus. It is an air sign. So here we have 2 different elements. We have Venus, which is an earth influenced sign, but also we have Libra with air. So where the Venus influence comes in with Libra is Venus influences Libra in the way to find the beauty in what it's trying to achieve for balance within the individual self, within a situation. They want to make sure, they being Libra, that whatever they find that is fair, what they are surrounding themselves with, is something that gives them a form of security. Venus is also a planet that provides that comfort level. It allows you to be in an environment that soothes you, that makes you feel safe, and it doesn't necessarily have to be luxurious, especially when it comes to Libra. The other sign that is ruled by Venus is Pentacles, and so is Taurus. So Taurus does deal more with the tactile things of what we're investing in, like investing in property, investing into ourselves, more at that material level. But here with Libra, we are looking at how we feel after we achieve this balance, after we start seeing things on both sides. Libra again is dealing with also relationships. So the relationship factor when it comes also with Venus is they learn about themselves. by interacting with people. Libra is, you would think more so of Gemini, but Libra's relationship with people is different in regards to, they want to learn, they want to understand through people. They like to be put in an environment that if people are in a work environment or in a relationship environment, Libras tend to go a little bit out ahead to make the people in that environment, make them feel good, make them feel secure. And when Libra starts seeing this, when they start seeing that people are having a good time and that, you know, everything seems to be falling in its right place, that gives Libra that security, gives Libra that harmony, that what they're doing, what they're providing for that situation or in that relationship, they're seeing the results. They're seeing people are, you know, interacting in the way that Libra would like to see. One thing that is important with Libra is also that they need to be discriminatory, and they need to be very particular with what they want to bring into their realm, into their environment, because that's going to influence them. Libra does not want to have anything that comes in and sours the direction of where they want to go. So Libra tends to also be someone who carefully looks at where they are and looks at the situation, starts saying, you know what, I don't think this is going to work. We're going to remove this and either leave it like it is so that we have more space to play with, or we're going to remove you know, certain parts of what's going on and replace it with something that will create the balance, the harmony, that inner confidence and security that Libra needs to have so that they can learn more from the situation, learn about what's going on. Okay, so here, that's where the Venus comes in again. We have here finding the value, finding what is important for Libra. What is missing? What is Libra missing that they can find through somebody else by communicating with them, by seeing different circumstances and seeing the results. When Libra sees the results of something that they are part of, then they know where to go. They know they can find the direction, find the balance in things. The next thing that we have here is Libra rules the 7th house. And so here, this is a beautiful depiction. We have two doves, they're interacting, they're looking at each other. And with Libra, the importance of relationship is very strong. Relationships, partnerships that we see with Gemini, which is also an air sign, as Libra is. But Gemini comes from a place where it goes more in a communicative sense. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. I'm just going to sidetrack a little bit. So the immediate attraction when it comes to a partner, Gemini is associated with the Lover's card, it's the meeting of the mind. It's like what really is the first step for Gemini is how they communicate with people, what they're getting from people at a cerebral, intellectual level. Well, Libra here, and here in the 7th house, what is important for Libra is what the results, what they're putting into a situation and what's coming back from them. And when they find and learn something from that situation, it becomes something very important. Libra is, I feel, out of all the signs, they want to find that connection, they want to find that love in a relationship. And that comes more from by how they feel when they interact with people. There's a form of intimacy. There's a form of partnership and connection, but it's coming more in the realm of the heart. And that's where we get Venus coming in here, because Venus does deal with comfort, love, things that make an individual feel good about themselves. So this beauty of the 7th house ruled by Libra and the planetary influence of Venus is really important for Libra, especially if they are heavily, if they have a lot of Libra in their chart. So that determines, based on the planetary placement, how Libra is going to take action, how it's going to take action if their Venus is in Libra. Venus in Libra is a beautiful placement because it's dealing with creating that connection with someone, whether it's business, friendship, or a relation or an intimate relationship. That's very important for Libra. You know, making sure Libra is the diplomat, I would say, for relationships. You know, they want to make things work. They'll do what they can to, you know, to create something that may be a little bit heavy and just lighten it up a little bit. So Libra is very strong in that sense when it comes to interacting with people and problem solving. The challenge that we get with Libra is if they start overthinking and I would say overanalyzing, but just, you know, going back and forth, you know, saying, well, this could happen if I do this, but if I do this, you know, I'm going to lose out on this. And they're just going back and forth. They have to stop. They need to have options. If Libra only has two choices to go with, it's going to pose a little bit more of a challenge. If there's more opportunities out there for Libra when it comes to problem solving, that kind of helps Libra see things in a more opportunistic way, as opposed to being limited to two different scenarios that they have to choose from. And so that is something where Libras can be seen as being indecisive, because there's not many options, there's not many different perspectives to take a look at a situation. So the more that they have to play with and to choose from would at least make it easier for them to do the process of elimination when it comes to you know, working through a particular scenario. Alrighty, so we got our house 7, which is ruled by Libra, and then of course our sign of Libra, and then the planet of rulership of Venus. Alright, so our cards here, these are from various decks. This is from my beloved Gil Tarot. Got the Pagan Otherworlds, and I got this very powerful, I just had to pull this card out from the Pulp Tarot, and then I have the Stag here with the Wildwood Tarot. Now the reason why I pulled these 4 cards is because when I've been doing this Tarot Astrology series and pulling different major arcana cards, or major arcana cards from different decks, I want people to see the different energies. You know, there's hundreds upon hundreds of decks that have been created and are currently being created where they depict the major arcana in various ways. So I want people to see the different energies. They still have something very common, but the energy in the way that the deck creator portrays the full arcana, major and minor, is very unique. So here's our Justice from the Gil Tarot. And what I like here is we're seeing a stillness. Okay, we're not seeing the scales, one being tipped higher than the other. We're seeing balance, just as we're seeing here. We're seeing a balance of the light and the dark. And what's interesting here is that we have nothing. We have nothing in these scales in particular. So we're starting at a place of where there's we've made a discernment over a situation. We've made our choices. So what was once filled here in the scales has been dealt with. And so we have the individual here who is in a moment of stillness. We have the sword, the crossbar of the scales being supported, and just taking that moment. I think this is a beautiful Justice card where we're not seeing any action, we're just seeing this moment of stillness. And we also have the lifting of the veils here. We're seeing the weight, we're seeing the darkness, the heaviness starting to open up, because we're being in that moment of just feeling how things are now, since weight has been removed, since balance has come back into play. We just want to feel what it feels like. So think about this. If there's a lot of weight that's been happening in your life and you finally create some balance, take that moment, instead of just moving along and go, yeah, this is great, everything's in balance. Let's take a moment just to be still and experience what it feels like. You know, we want, again, to create this harmony. We want to create this realm where we can experience the result of having something that is very important to us. Here, with the pagan otherworlds, okay, we're seeing the action, we're seeing the sword. The sword is the common theme here. Sword is in relation to air, in relation to the mind, in relation to communicate, how we use our thoughts, and in what manner are we using these thoughts. Here with justice, okay, the back is turned towards us, so we see the focus is on creating equilibrium. We have a scene here where there is no balance, and it's kind of hard here, but we can't even tell if this is a ledge, and we have some rocks here, so there's a little bit of an instability I'm taking in this scene. Okay, but now it's time to take matters into our own hands and look at our situation, be decisive. What do we need? Remember what I was saying. Let's be discriminatory in what we need to have that will create a sense of balance in our life. Ask questions, make these choices and actions that we do in a way that will get us in the right direction. Again, keyword is being discriminatory or using discernment, using careful judgment in our actions to get to where we need to be. And here, the wonderful Pam Grier from the Pulp Tarot. This speaks volumes. This is strength, even though 8 is associated with strength, but I feel here we have the combination, even though we don't have the lion or anything. But here we have this force, we have this very confident force of someone who does not want to be messed with, someone who will use the mind, will use the words to communicate clearly what is important, what they feel needs to be heard, what needs to be said. Here the sword is placed behind the shoulder. And look at the stance here. Okay, I know this is a well-known poster from the 70s. So it's very strong, it's very confident. And so here with this justice card, that's the other thing that we gain with justice, by cutting through truth, or cutting through unclear answers, lies, unfairness, finding what is right, and seeing the results and getting the answers that we feel is best needed. You you gain confidence in yourself. So justice here is dealing very differently in regards for relationships, but here with justice, we're looking at the relationship of how we interact in a situation and what force we have at that time, what is of great importance to us, you know. And here, the crux of this card is directness and confidence. And like here, we have the pillar, and we see the fire, like completely destroying anything that comes in our way that could hinder our direction. And then we have the Wildwood Tarot, the stag. Okay, so this is a little bit different. We have a anamorphic depiction, anamorphic being human body, but with the conscious side of the animal, conscious being the head. We usually see anamorphic imagery where the body is in the human state while the top part, the head, is in the form of an animal. But here we have the deer. Okay, the deer is actually, or the stag is actually one of leadership, wisdom, strength. And here we have a double-sworded axe. And we see the direction. Again, look at the mannerisms. We have the axe pointed outward, resting on the thigh. I like here the relationship, how the arm is placed on the hip and the sword's behind. Here we have the sword up, ready to take action, while here we have, again, where the scales are empty and we're taking that moment to feel that weight lifted. Here we have no scales, but here we have the axe. We see that we are ready. So these two, I place these two side by side because of their body stance. And we're using the strength. We are using the knowledge that we have and going straight ahead. Justice here is all about the action that we take towards creating balance and symmetry in our life, physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally. So this is a very influential card when it comes for Libra, because when it comes to those moments of indecisiveness, justice can come in and say, there is no time for this. You know, stop weighing things back and forth, back and forth. You need to make a choice. You know, and look at all the different options that you have. Even if it's only two, you have to make a choice. I feel the Justice card when it comes to Libra is something that is more like time is of the essence. Can't keep going back and forth. Libra's an air sign, so air is invisible movement. We can't see what someone's thinking unless it's expressed through words, but we can sort of get a sense, you know, when you talk to someone, it's like, yeah, I can sort of see what's going on in their mind. But this card, this major arcana card of justice, is the action of how we approach a situation to bring, again, what we find of great value here with Venus. What is importance, what makes us feel secure, confident, and then of course Libra, using discernment, being very careful, very mindful. Again, I feel with all the air signs, it's always think before what you're going to say, and then you can start taking action. And then of course the 7th house. This is where Libra rules this house. And the houses are basically the environment that Libra is in when it's in the house of 7. We're dealing about closeness, friendship, how we interact with people, and also how we learn about ourselves through our involvement, through the actions that we've taken to find that word, again, balance, harmony, equilibrium, which also creates a foundation. So one other thing too I want to point out, because I do mention this every now and then, but I also forget. I want to mention the part of the body that Libra rules. Libra rules the kidneys. It rules pretty much the lower back, the kidneys, our backside being what we sit on, our bum. So it's that energy. So Libras can be prone to, if not well taken care of, some kidney issues, lower back issues. And one thing that takes care, well, not doesn't take care, but it's always important, and this goes across all the signs, is drink lots of water. We have to keep those kidneys clear of toxin. Be mindful of any liquids that you take into your body where it could tax the kidneys. So physically, Libra rules that area, lower back, kidneys, the backside, our bum. Watch for those areas there. Those are like the Achilles tendon for Libra. Just like our next sign is going to be Scorpio. So Scorpio rules the reproductive organs. So it's good to keep those areas throughout the 12 astrological signs, from Aries all the way to Pisces. Aries starts with the head and goes all the way to Pisces to the feet and the nervous system. Just be mindful of those areas for each of those signs, because if they're not well maintained, it could be a problem, and so we need to take care of that. So there you have it. This is the last profile for the 12 astrological signs for tarot and astrology. I have the whole series on in my playlist. Look under tarot astrology and you should see each of the signs there. If not, I'll organize it. I may have fallen behind 1 or 2 months, but they are all there. So from here on in, if you want to get a review of your particular birth sun sign, take a look at the playlist and you could go through all 12. One thing I want to point out, I did mention the sun sign. You could take this tarot astrology profile and relate it to your moon and your rising sign. So let's say you are a sun Scorpio, but your rising's Libra or your moon's Libra. You can take those influences of the rising sign and the moon sign and apply it to your sign of Libra, Scorpio, so on and so forth. So look at your chart if you don't have a chart, and go online, type in your birth date, and you can find that information. Very important for the rising sign. You need to know your exact birth date. It cannot be, I think it cannot be any more than like 3 to 5 minutes. The exact time that you're born is very important for your rising sign, because it's where the sun was rising in the east at that time. You have your sun in you know the time that you were born, but also the position of where the sun is also determines our rising sign. That's why the rising sign is the first sign. First sign is how we come across the people, how people first see us. So if you could find out that time that you were born, you could get more insight into your astrology profile. Alrighty, so that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Leave them in the comments. I'm available for readings. I had a wonderful weekend at Newt's. I will be discussing that in my next live that I have coming up. So you can reach me on my website for readings, so on and so forth. And I'll mention the decks here. This is the Heavenly Bodies Astrology deck, created by Lily Ashwell, the Guild Tarot, Pagan Otherworlds, Pulp Tarot, and the Wildwood Tarot. Alrighty, so happy belated birthday, and birthday to all the Libras. I will be changing up the way I do my readings, because I was doing the decan readings for the last few months. I wanted to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to be changing it up again, because it just seems like people don't really catch on to the decans. I feel it's very important. If you have a tarot practice, the more you explore the decans with astrology, it's nothing heavy. You can learn quite a lot about the minor arcana in relation to the Golden Dawn system of the decans. So, and that's also my playlist. If you do a search for tarot astrology decans, you'll see various readings that I've done. And I think I did a video, I can't remember, where I went into great detail, probably like 2-3 hours of just breaking down the decans. You could get some information. I believe I time-stamped it as well if you want to just go through it. But there you have it. Everyone have a wonderful week. I have a few things coming up, so I will be seeing you again, but for now you're just going to hear my voice and look at these cards. And I hope everyone has had a wonderful astrological year. And as we are in the midst of Libra, getting ready for Scorpio, which takes place next week, later part of next week, just remember, you know, we are made up of different energies and different elements. So what we can learn through our divinatory practice can really open up some deeper aspects of ourselves. So that's why I offer these videos to further explore that, you know, the differences that we can learn through tarot and astrology. Okay, I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you again soon.